Hey there, everybody, and welcome to this video on coping with hateful comments and trolls. I am your host, Dr. Dawn-Elise Snipes. Now, I don't know if you're like me or not, but I tend to have something of a thin skin and I get my feelings hurt relatively easily. So it's important for me to have tools that can help me deal with trolls and people who post hateful comments on my Facebook feeds, my social media, those sorts of things, or even just in person. Thankfully, I don't have many people in my life that in real life that are going to make hateful comments. There are some that are critical, but not hateful. But there are always going to be people who have hateful things to say. In order to deal with that, in order to prevent people's hateful comments from making us feel anxious or depressed or hurt our self-esteem, it's important that we have tools to cope with it. First and foremost, recognize that you cannot control other people. No matter how much arguing and, commenting back and doing whatever you're doing to try to deal with it, if they want to be hateful, if they don't want to change, they are not going to change. A lot of times people who are being hateful are doing so for other reasons, and it has a lot less to do with you and a lot more to do with them. It's important to recognize, again, you cannot control other people. You can control how you react to other people. The second step, after you recognize that you can't control them, then you examine what their behavior is communicating. All behavior communicates something. And a lot of times when you look at hateful comments, whether it's on YouTube or on Facebook or even in real life, the person is communicating to you that they're jealous of you, that they may feel insecure, so they want to take you down a few pegs to be down there with them. They may feel unhappy and want everyone else to be miserable too, so they figure, well, you look too happy, so let me see if I can pop your little bubble. Or there are some people out there that really just derive joy from other people's discomfort. They enjoy getting people angry and stirring the pot. Do you want to give them your energy to let them do this? This is something you have to keep asking yourself. So when somebody makes an unpleasant comment, a hateful comment, recognize you can't control them. Examine, think about what their behavior is communicating. What is it telling you about them? Use your distress tolerance skills to help you get into a purposeful mind. When they make that hateful comment, it's going to feel like a threat. It's going to feel like a verbal assault, and it is. And your body is going to react by ramping up that fight or flight reaction. You may get angry, you may get anxious, you're going to have an emotional reaction, and that is okay. That means that you're a sentient being. What you do with it is what can be problematic or helpful. So recognize how you feel, acknowledge how you feel, say, I'm angry that this person is saying this right now, and it's okay. It is what it is. This person said this. I'm angry. It is what it is. I'm not going to fight with it or think how I should feel. I feel how I feel. The next step is to use those distress tolerance skills to help your body re-regulate and get out of that fight or flight mode so you can make a clearer headed decision. When we're in fight or flight, we are often on autopilot and we're reacting. We're not thinking and then acting. You want to get to the place where you can think and then act. So dialectical behavior therapy offers a lot of distress tolerance skills. Some of my favorite are activities. Do something different for 10 minutes. Just walk away from Facebook or excuse yourself from the conversation or whatever you have to do for 5 or 10 minutes so your body can re-regulate itself physically. You can stop those thoughts. You can just simply excuse yourself for a second, or if you can't excuse yourself, start breathing slowly. Don't be super dramatic about it, but inhale, hold your breath for a count of 4 or 6, and slowly exhale. Again, you don't have to be dramatic and be like, because that typically annoys people. You want to do it as quietly as possible, but what you're doing is slowing your heart rate down and slowing down or turning down that fight or flight response so you can think clearly. So to sum up your distress tolerance skills, your emergency ones: deep breathing, other activities, excuse yourself and do something else for 10 minutes until you can think clearly. Once you're thinking clearly, decide, in this particular case with this particular person, are you willing to give them your power and let them keep you upset? What happened. You got upset. It is what it is. Now, is this person worth my energy? Is this situation worth my energy to try to address it, to try to argue with this person? What's that going to get me? Or am I just going to be spinning my wheels because they are determined to be unpleasant? A lot of times they're determined to be unpleasant, so you really need to look at the effectiveness of whatever you choose to do. You need to decide whether their opinion and their actions are even worth your energy. Is it worth me spending my time trying to argue with this person or contradict them or prove that I'm right? Or is it a better use of my time just to hide that post or delete it or ignore it? Choose the best response to improve your next moment. Remember, you're not going to change them. A lot of times, if somebody is bold enough to put a hateful comment on your social media, they aren't going to care what your response is, or they're going to delight if they're able to get you stirred up. Do you want to reward their behavior? You've got to ask yourself that. And does their opinion really matter to you? Whose opinion matters? A lot of times it's your family, your friends, and yourself. But does this person, whoever it is, does this person's opinion make or break your life in any sort of way? Most likely not. Remember, you want to conserve your energy for those things that are important for you to have a rich and meaningful life, and don't feed into other people's misery.